You nipped quietly on your evening coffee. By now you were used to the late shifts and didn't need it, but it was contained in a funny novelty mug that had 3 dashes on its outside, going from "Leave me alone" at the top to "Almost there" in the middle, ending with "You may now speak" slightly above the bottom. How could you not use it every chance you got? As you finished your coffee, you checked the security cameras of the Pizzaplex. 3 years ago, you had purchased a Freddy Fazbear Entertainment franchise package and had somehow managed to keep it running, building it up into a similar restaurant and entertainment facility to the one that had recently burned down. Your own Pizzaplex had a few attractions missing. You had no Roxy Raceway, no Mazercise or Monty Golf. In fact, the only stuff you had was a phaser blast, Bonnie Bowl, and the necessary underground facilities to support the 4 main performers and Rockstar Row. However, since the other place burned down, the higher-ups had been more than concerned as how you ran the place. This led to you setting up shop in one of the security offices. It was cramped, hot and loud, but you spend most days here anyways, so might as well live here. Child, you would have been ecstatic over that opportunity. In addition, since you owned this franchise, you were technically allowed to purchase and bring food from other places, with the exception of rival animatronic restaurants like Bond's Burgers or Pop Goes Pizza. Finally, your mug reached the "You may now speak" dash on its side. You're ready to tackle your night now. Standing up, you grabbed your flashlight. Your "No, I don't need a map" to keep the 2 map bots you owned from pestering you, and your company issue Montgomery Gator security taser. Why this of all things had to be a novelty item, you could not understand. The bulky plastic self-defense tool didn't even fit into an actual weapon holster, so you just used a hook on your tool belt. Not like any kids would be around at this hour and steal it from you. Slowly you walked through the Pizzaplex. At night, the only lights that were on were from the decorations. This was both so the security cameras didn't need night vision and to deter would-be robbers. Muffled by the carpeted floor, approached Rockstar Row. Your footsteps muffled by the carpeted floor, you approached Rockstar Row. Your animatronics had returned to their charging stations for the night, so you just quickly shined your flashlight into their respective rooms. Roxy was still admiring herself in her mirror. Or, well, it was more about self-reinforcement. Why the company insisted to give every Roxanne Wolf animatronic such self-esteem issues was a mystery to you. But the male teenage customers loved it, so who were you to judge? Just don't look her up on Google, you always said to yourself. But when you reached Freddy's room at the other end of Rockstar Row, you were puzzled. He wasn't there. Not even in his recharge station. Concerned, you pulled up your security tablet and switched through the cameras. He wasn't anywhere on the upper floors.
"Hey there, night guard."
You shrieked and pulled out your taser, pointing it right at Freddy! You shouted angrily. The bear animatronic took a step back.
"I apologize for scaring you."
How did this giant hunk of metal even manage to sneak up on you? You bit your lip to suppress your bubbling emotions. "It's fine," you sighed. Then you furrowed your brows. How often do I need to tell you that I own this place? I'm not just a night guard. Freddy chuckled.
"I am programmed to refer to you by any role you currently fulfill. If you cook, I refer to you as cook, and—"
Yeah, you interrupted. "I know, just... Why aren't you in your room?"
My batteries are full, and my system requires me to walk around for a bit to not damage them.
You shrugged and turned back around to finish your patrol. But once you reached Bonnie Ball, you noticed a second pair of heavy footsteps behind you. Okay, seriously, why are you following me? You asked and looked back at who else but Freddy Fazbear. The robot scratched the back of his head.
I was wondering if you'd like some company.
You swiped a few strays of hair out of your face. I mean, sure, whatever floats your boat. Together you began walking the Pizzaplex. His heavy footsteps were only muffled by the thick carpeted floor. When you first realized that the AI of these machines was very close to sentient, you had been very uncomfortable. You just had seen too many movies. However, over time you realized something. That Fazbear Entertainment put enough rules and blocks into their system to keep them in this child-friendly demeanor. Really advanced. You were almost done with your round when your tablet began to beep and vibrate. You let out an annoyed sigh.
What's happening?
Asked Freddy, concerned. You raised a finger to shut him up and read the notification that had appeared. One of the staff is damaged. You looked at the bear and forced a smile. Let's go fix it then. You abandoned your regular patrol route and returned to Bonnie Ball, where the camera showed the broken staff bot. A regular janitor unit. Upon reaching the unfortunate staff, you investigated. The machine's wheel had come off. A regular occurrence with these simple little robots. You crouched down next to it, followed by Freddy making an uncomfortable noise. You looked back at the robot. Something wrong? If the bear could blush, he would.
No, nothing.
You grinned. I get it. For you this must look like surgery. Freddy blinked.
Yeah, surgery.
He didn't have the heart to tell you that he was looking at your butt. Okay, I fixed some screws here. Could you help me? You said after a minute or two of trying to fix this issue. Freddy approached. Staff, hold on to his right arm, please. The bot obliged.
What are you?
Now, Freddy, raise your arm slowly until I say stop. The bear did as you told, until only the still fastened wheel of the staff bot was on the ground. Perfect. Stop. You had fixed these robots many times already, and lifting them was always the most difficult and annoying part. Thanks to Freddy, you could now easily reattach the wheel. 5 minutes later, it was properly fixed. As the bot left, Freddy opened his chest cavity.
Do you want a napkin for your hands?
He asked. They were covered in oil. That's very thoughtful of you, you said as you took a peek at his insides. There was a bottle of hand sanitizer, a few pill bottles with child-friendly painkillers, and the aforementioned napkins. Your Pizzaplex was too small for private birthday parties after all, so might as well use the chest cavity for something useful. As you cleaned your hands, Freddy patiently waited. How's your battery doing? The animatronic blinked.
Status nominal. I'm currently on 96% power.
You nodded and threw the dirty napkin into a nearby bin. Let's keep going then. From here, your patrol ran without a sitch. You and Freddy marched to one of the balconies atop the main performance stage. You sat down at one of the tables next to the railing, whilst Freddy stood before you. He was a little too big and heavy for the chairs. You snapped your fingers, making a nearby staff bot approach you and salute. Bring me my break lunch. It's in my office, on the table. A brown bag. Go get it. The bot bowed and left immediately. This is so handy, you said, satisfied. Your feet were hurting a little from all the running about, so this was a huge relief. Freddy, on the other hand, seemed to be mesmerized by the holographic version of him and his friends as they floated on the stage. This was company policy. "What are you looking at?" you asked.
It's strange,
He said before looking at you.
I always look at the hologram of myself and think I'd really like to meet another version of myself.
You grinned. I expected that comment from Roxanne. Freddy chuckled in response.
Well, I think we both know why she'd want that. But
He paused.
I feel like it would be a nice experience to have a friendly exchange about our different locations.
You leaned back, your hands behind your head. You mean, you want to talk to the Freddy that had his place burned down, right?
Well, maybe the Freddy there knows what happened.
You shrugged. I'm pretty sure corporate knows what happens, just refuses to tell anyone. The bear blinked.
So you think they silenced us?
You snorted. I mean, you're just one hard drive formation away from complete amnesia. Freddy's shoulders shivered, and you felt a bit bad for him. Was what I said offensive to you?
No, I just very rarely think about how easy it is for all my experiences to be instantly gone.
You sighed, dejected. That's part of your programming, is to prevent an existential crisis while performing to children.
I see.
The staff boss returned to your side, placing a brown lunch bag in the center of the table, and then left.
So, what do we have here?
Asked Freddy. Something from Happy's Humble. The animatronic blinked in confusion.
You're not allowed to bring food from other restaurants into the Pizzaplex.
I'm the owner. I can do what I want. Besides, Happy's Humble Burger Farm is not on the list of taboo restaurants for the employees. Freddy approached your table, pulled away the chair, and then crouched down into what almost looked like a sitting position. You raised an eyebrow. I guess we don't have to do a balance check for you, huh? The bear laughed.
I guess so. My gyroscope is pretty well working right now.
You unpacked your lunch. It was a contractual obligation to take a 10 to 20-minute break after every patrol. Something you always did, as time you spent working during your break was not added to your overtime. Freddy watched as you began eating the cold, slightly stale burger, but it was better than nothing. And better than eating pizza for the third time today.
May I have some?
Asked Freddy after a while. You blinked. What?
May I have some?
He repeated. Silly bear. Burgers are for humans, not robots. Freddy laughed.
I'm programmed to accept any shared food.
You leaned back onto the table. But I didn't do that, right? You said smugly. Besides, that food will just gunk up your servos. The robot shook his head.
I have a food collection basket in my throat. If anything, I need a cleanup of my faceplates.
You sighed in defeat and put your hand back into the paper bag, pulling out another burger. There you go. Freddy thanked you and awkwardly, due to his large hands, pulled away the wrapping. Then he bit a sizable chunk of the burger, smearing his lips and teeth with ketchup as he began to chew. It gave you goosebumps. Something about it was endearing yet terrifying, like watching a hydraulic press squish a children's toy into a colorful disc.
Disgusting,
he said after swallowing it. You don't have taste buds.
I'm programmed to find any non-Fazbear Entertainment approved food revolting.
You snorted. Now why did you want it? He looked down.
Because you like it? And I like you.
You smiled softly, before leaning forward, giving him a quick peck on the nose, and then saying, "You dumb little bear." His ears twitched excitedly. "I like you too." Before finishing your meal, you took one of his napkins and began to gently wipe away the food stains from his mouth. He made a noise. "Huh? Something wrong?" you said as you rubbed it over one of his teeth.
This feels strange.
What do you mean? He blinked.
It feels intimate.
You blushed. Now he made it weird for you. And your heart skipped a beat.
Is something wrong?
He asked cautiously. In your owner's manual, they warned of employees who felt attraction towards the mascots and that any complaints from the machines about weird behavior towards them should be responded to by a termination and report to corporate. Up until now, you never thought about it that much. But I'm
sorry. If I have overstepped the boundary.
You sighed once again. Ignoring his worry, you gently kissed his forehead, before wiping away the oblivious lipstick imprint you had left with embarrassment. Your face now redder than his shoulder pads.
What was that for?
He asked. You puffed up your cheeks. It's your fault for being so cute. You looked away and walked back to your chair. After a minute of silence, you managed to look back into his eyes. It's not new to management that there are people who feel, a certain attraction to you guys. You growled with embarrassment. Then you bit your lower lip. If you don't mind, Freddy, you said after a while, could you from now on join me on my nightly patrols? The bear's ears twitched, and he smiled.
Of course I can.